the shoulders and move up the head there. Wow. That one is new. Looks like your head is disassociating from your body. Oh, and with the neck and chair and shoulder dancing du jour, we are live. It's Thursday.
It is all for your enjoyment.
It is.
Yes.
Look what we do. We risk injury, neck tweaking. It's Thursday. I'm Joe Carducci, Jojo from Jers. I am joined by my friend Majid Patel in Brooklyn, Dad Defiant. Hi, Brooklyn.
What up?
Hi.
What up?
Everybody.
What up?
How you doing?
I am smashingly well, all things considered. I went to my my aunt's 100th birthday party this past Sunday. It was incredible. This is my first time ever going to someone's 100th birthday party.
I've never been to one. That's amazing. How's she doing?
Man, I mean, so I saw her last year, and last year she was up and about. She walks with like zip and pep in her step, and she's lucid, very, she's funny, has a great sense of humor. At 100, this year she fell, dislocated her shoulder, so they had to put her out so that they could pop her shoulder back in. But all things considered, man, she's doing fantastic. I'll be touching 58 years old on Tuesday.
Oh my God, happy birthday. That's less than a week. 58. You look so good for 58. God damn.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, happy almost birthday. So what sign does that make you?
I am a Taurus.
Oh, how I know that? Because my daughter's a Taurus. So
Abby?
Yeah.
Abby's when is Abby's birthday?
May 14th.
Oh, that's a good one. That's good.
Yeah, and I've never really seen that side of you, but she does have her stubborn streak. I've never seen
Oh
that
my Lord. Yeah, that is me 100%. I have mellowed over the years, but yeah, I'm still stubborn as hell.
Okay, so true Taurus. Yeah. I'm the sign right after y'all. I'm the Gemini.
Gemini?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. What
day?
June
17th. I'm right after stupid fucking head's birth. Sorry, I swore.
Oh, after Trump?
Yeah. When I found out his birthday was June 14th, I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, ruin my birthday.
Oh, boy.
Well, yeah. But happy pre-birthday. And hi to everybody in the chat. We've got some stuff going on, as always. This one that we're leading with, though, this really pisses me off. The headline. I am furious about even the notion. First of all, Ghislaine Maxwell should not be in a bougie club fed as we speak. But now they're talking about Republicans wanting to pardon her, to get her to comply, right, and give up the goods. First of all, nobody should be trusting this woman to give up the goods or to comply. She should not be getting any special treatment of any kind whatsoever. And it infuriates me on behalf of the victims and survivors, but also on behalf of justice as a survivor myself. Fuck that and fuck them.
So they are attempting to do two things with this story. First of all, they are testing the waters. They're testing to see what the public reaction would be first, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, if they were to advance with this scheme, the only reason that they would do this would be to have her agree to say something that exonerates Donald Trump. Falsely, they don't care, because the only kind of exoneration Donald Trump has ever received was false. Like he claimed that the Mueller report exonerated him. It didn't. Bob, what was that guy's name? Bill Barr. Barr exonerated him, but he just pulled that out of his ass. There was no exoneration forthcoming for him. Right. So he's the guy who gets an F on his report card and adds a line and changes it into an A.
Right. And what kind of exoneration can someone who is known to be a prolific liar, Was an adjudicated prolific liar. The
Yes.
judge said she lied under oath repeatedly.
Mm.
The first version of the first episode in the season of Not Exonerated by Ghislaine Maxwell, it was a news story for about 10 seconds, but it was also, the context or the pretext under which Todd Blanche moved her. Like, it seemed as though that was the quid pro quo there, right? Because Todd Blanche is personally responsible for her moving, and she was moved to the bougie club bed where she has a puppy and access to the internet down the road from a girls' camp for
Wait,
that in exchange for that testimony.
Are you saying that he moved her because she agreed to say, like, I never saw him do anything improper, that whole bullshit?
I mean, he would never make that public connection, but it sure does seem coincidental that the move, right? He said, again, we talked about this, and it's such utter bullshit. He said she was moved because she was receiving death threats. I'm old enough to remember Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm old enough to remember when prison justice handles itself. And I'm also old enough to remember when somebody who's sentenced to 20 plus years in prison for sex trafficking children, they need to find out however they're going to find out. And we don't make special arrangements for them. We certainly don't hand them a puppy down the street from a girls' camp. So that does not pass the smell test. And none of this does. It is all to obfuscate further what is in those files that we still haven't seen. Pam Bondi was supposed to give a deposition to the oversight committee on the 15th, and he fired her. And then they said she didn't need to be deposed because she was no longer the attorney general. Not that that matters, because it doesn't, because the subpoena was in her Pamela Bondi name. But Howard Lutnick, and we don't have this clip because we didn't talk about this. Oh, Sam, I did send it to you. I did send it to Sam. Howard Lutnick was appearing before the Senate today.
He wouldn't talk. He would spill about no Epstein stuff. I saw Madeline Dean go after him, and she was pretty good, but he was like, nope, not going to do it. Not going to talk about it.
Sam, I sent you that clip. It was like the first clip I sent you today in our group chat. If you have it, just throw it up if you have it.
I would also like to add that he has a definite MO, a modus operandi. He has a way of going about covering his tracks after the fact. Like, he's the same thing he's attempting to do with Ghislaine Maxwell and the whole Epstein thing is exactly what he's been doing with the January 6th offenders, by pardoning them, and then by I think they're trying to expunge their records altogether.
Yeah.
So if there's no record of their arrests and they're not doing any time for it, he can pretend, even though we all have the video, even though we all have the memory of having seen it, he will legally have it wiped off the books. And I think it's just a disgrace.
Right. Well, the one that you're talking about in reference to the latest is they are trying to, like you said, expunge their records. They're trying to vacate their sentences. It's not a commutation. It's not a pardon. They're trying to erase evidence of the hearing, of the trials, of the verdicts, period. For the 13 who were first the seditious insurrectionists, or whatever, the seditious conspiracy, whatever that was. So Stuart Rhodes, Enrique Tarrio, Biggs, the worst of the worst, right? The guys who organized and strategized and plotted and planned, the ones who were sentenced by a judge after a jury of their peers found them guilty to in some cases decades in prison. So now it is this, like, it's Orwellian, right? Because this is what I know that sounds hyperbolic, but every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street building has been renamed, every date has been altered, and the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right.
Wait, is that from 1984?
It is indeed.
Okay, because I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be funny. It's been a very long time since high school, and I hadn't read it since then. But that sounds like it could have been written yesterday.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Sam has the clip now. Let's play this clip of Lutnick, because I think this is extremely telling.
Survivors. I again went to the Department of Justice to review the unredacted Epstein files, to seek accountability and justice for the victims, the more than 1,000 victims and survivors. And today, Secretary Lutnick, I have some questions for you about what I saw. Let's start with your relationship with sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. In October, you told the New York Post with colorful narration that the last time you saw Jeffrey Epstein was in 2005 when you took a tour of his house, which happened to be right.
Did that freeze for you too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's frozen. Shake it a little, Sam. Shake it.
Shake
the video.
No, maybe Sam. Here we go. Hope Sam didn't have an earthquake. Maybe he's shaking.
You okay, buddy?
She goes on to say that he was his neighbor and that he lied to the New York Post. And when he said that and colorfully, because we all have seen that video where he says, "Oh, and we walked out of there and it was disgusting. And we swore we'd never talk to him again." And then she asks him, what were you, you took your family, you took your nannies, you took your wife to his island many, many years later. And then 5 days after that, you went into a joint business venture with him. This is all after, by the way, he was found guilty or liable, whichever the word is in the case where it was guilty of soliciting sex with a minor the first time. And then in 2018, he was still in business with him. She goes on to say all of that. Lutnick's response, like he said yesterday, and I apologize, I thought it was in front of the Senate, it was in front of the House, was, "I'm appearing before the Oversight Committee voluntarily in 2 weeks, and I'm happy to answer those questions then." He will not be under oath in that deposition like he is today.
Yeah. Although it doesn't seem to make much of a difference whether they are under oath or not, because as we've seen in repeated examples, whether it's Lutnick or that smug, smarmy, what's the guy who looks like his face is made of plastic?
Scott Bessent.
Thank you, Scott Bessent.
I think Scott Bessent looks like he's wearing someone else's skin.
Whether or Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, they all have perfected the art of stonewalling. They waste the time, they filibuster, they flat out refuse to answer questions like like Lutnick did today, which is a disgrace, and it pisses me off. I hope that when we retake the House and the Senate, that there is some way to compel these people to actually answer a question. Like, if you don't, there should be jail time, because otherwise, what's the point of having these hearings anyway? It's like a waste of time.
Yeah, 100%. And I liked what Dean was doing today, because what we didn't get to watch the full clip, but she didn't let him get away with this shit. She's like, "Oh no, excuse me. I've heard you say that, and that's not going to work here. This is my committee. This is our committee, and you're going to answer this question for us." So that's the way you got to do it. Like, you can't let them 50,000 in the Dow out of this.
Yeah, I also want to commend you for your ability to recall the entire contents of that exchange, because you basically hit all of the points without having the video to show the audience. Thanks. So thank you for that. That's very cool.
I got to tell you, and thank you for that. I got to tell you, I can speak to why that is real fast. And I only watched it once today. And the reason that I have not forgotten what happened during that clip is because this makes me so angry, my friend. Like, this bullshit with them running circles, about the Epstein files. The fact that Melania gave that bullshit, God knows what the hell that was about, by pretending to put the survivors front and center, by also blaming them at the same time.
Yeah.
As a survivor, as a human being, as a mother, this makes me so angry that I want to scream, because he had one of those stupid gaggles in the Oval Office where he sits there like a cooked shrimp and he covers his black hand, and they call it a press conference, and nobody asks him about any of this stuff. Nobody. Yeah. And Lutnick should not be in the United States cabinet. This guy lied about his ties to Epstein, and he's sitting there smug as a bug in a rug. We saw him at the Sixers game, or with the owner of the Sixers, who is also named in the Epstein files. And we cannot let this shit go. We can't stop being outraged by it. And honestly, that's why I was like, go get him, Congresswoman Dean. Like, yes, that we need more of that. Don't let them slide out of this. They raped children. They murdered and abused and tortured children.
Yeah.
So don't stop putting the pressure on them for one goddamn second.
There are actually quite a few congressmen and women in this in the Democratic Party in this like current batch that are really dynamic, and I'm really happy to see them. Madeline Dean is one of my favorites. And yeah, I think she's kind of cut from the same cloth as like Elizabeth Warren. Like she has that tough old bitty energy in her, like she would take you on in a street fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
But as you said, Lutnick doesn't belong in the cabinet. That is a long list of people who do not belong in the cabinet. And I think I've said this before. I'm going to say it again, right? There are certain positions that you expect people to be sane. That's a baseline expectation. Sane, sober, serious. There are many other S words, but those are the top three. I don't care what your party affiliation is. If you're the Pentagon head, if you're the head of the DOJ, head of Health and Human Services, those things, you have people's lives and security in your hands. I don't care who you voted for. I care that you approach the job like a serious adult professional, and that you put all of that rah cheerleading bullshit to the side, and you treat your job like you work for the American people, not for King full of shiticus. Okay. And the cabinet is full of people who are unserious, who should be. Like case in point, one of the biggest things we have on our on tap for today is discussing Kash Patel. Right?
Yeah.
Kash Patel. He's all over the news because he is suing the Atlantic for their reporting and they're standing by their reporting. The reporting says that he was missing for a time, and so since they were unable to reach him, they sent people with a battering ram to his home to forcefully open the door. They said he freaked out because he thought he was locked out, remotely. And there's a long laundry list of issues, all tied in with the fact that he is out of control.
Yeah. J. Edgar Boozer has some issues.
Oh, that's so good. Did you make that up?
No.
Oh,
I wish
that's
I did.
Good.
I didn't. I don't own that or Keg Breath, but it's good.
That's very
good. So good. Right? J. Edgar Boozer. He is spiraling. He is really spiraling. Yeah, they call it breaching protocol, right? They have 20 plus sources for that story in the Atlantic, by the way. And he's been splitting hairs out there about the way he answers questions. Pay attention to that, folks, because he's been saying not intoxicated on the job, but mostly what he does is he refers to his accomplishments, right? He goes down this laundry list of all the things that he's done so that you'll be paying attention to that shiny object over there. In the meantime, he's splitting hairs over here because we all saw him pounding beers with the hockey team he referred to as his friends, as if Kash 1,000-yard stare Patel has any of those. Okay, like we saw him pounding beers, and other FBI directors they've abstained from utilizing alcohol at all. It's not like a job that, like you punch your card and you walk away from the job. You're the director of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That is one of the most consequential positions on the planet. You need to be on point 24/7. Even when you're asleep, you need to be wakeable. Okay, like you can't be at the mercy of of substances when that's the job that you have. So when he splits hairs and says, I've never been intoxicated on the job, he's not really saying he didn't drink on the job or doesn't drink on the job. He's trying to say, I was never fall down drunk, which the reporting does not verify or bear out. But also we learned today and yesterday from the New York Times that the reporter who reported back in February about him using our FBI for his girlfriend, who is a country music singer, the FBI was instructed to investigate that reporter.
Which he denied.
Totally. She is denied. Well, I can't wait till he sues the New York Times. $10 he doesn't do that. $10 he does not do that. This is nuts. This is insane. A reporter investigates and puts out a story about the director of the FBI, and the FBI director's response is to have the FBI investigate her. That's like Banana Republic shit. He is a 9-layer dip of fucked up.
They're trying to, he's trying to turn it into a stalking charge that the reporter, they're trying to say that in order to obtain the information that the reporter got for the story, that they broke some kind of stalking law or restrictions, something like that. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. And honestly, we didn't know we didn't hear about the wives or partners, romantic partners of previous FBI directors. And I think that's how it should be. I don't give a shit who you're dating, who you're married to. I do give a shit if she has to receive a security detail from SWAT, which is costing American taxpayers millions of dollars. I care if your shenanigans with her are broadcast on the front page to the point where her drunken friend now needs an Uber. It needs federal agents to Uber her home safely, her drunken friend. Mm-hmm. All that stuff, that has nothing to do with law enforcement, dude. Right. Do that shit on your own private, personal time. That's not for us. Also, you said something about how he answers questions. It's the most disgraceful thing. Like, you know, how snarky he is. He'll say, someone asks him a straightforward question. He's like, raise your hand if you think that, like, dude, what? Raise your hand. Let's take a poll. No, let's not take a poll, dude. Just answer the question. You're the FBI director. Act like it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And get another person in this regime who treats our tax dollars and their jobs like their personal playgrounds for their own amusement. You know what I mean? Like they see these things as toys and props that serve them. I mean, again, I'm old enough to remember when they fired or he resigned that Health and Human Services Secretary because he flew private like one time. I forget his name. Anybody in the chat remembers that guy? It was the first season of this shit show. And Scott Pruitt resigned over some tactical pants and fancy hotel lotions. Now we got now we got Kash Patel out there, you know, using these armored vehicles for shit. You know, shits and giggles, going to the Olympics again on our dime for his own amusement. You know, Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski doing the 20,000-mile shag club. You know, all of this is, and Hegseth's got a freaking makeup and hair and studio budget. Like, it's just, these are not serious people, but they've been. I think the culture there is that they believe that they can do whatever they want because Trump does whatever he wants and he doesn't care about these things. So why should they?
Dana Cottingham says Kash Patel thinks he's Captain Save-A-Ho. Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God. That is hilarious.
You want to hear something funny? Like it's not funny, but there was a case. I want to say it was the Savannah Guthrie's mom missing thing. And I was kind of relieved not to see Pam Bondi or Kash Patel up, by the podium while this case was being discussed by sheriffs and, other law enforcement officials. I was relieved, and that's sad. That's
Yeah.
sad when you're happy to not see the FBI director or the U.S. Attorney General because you think it's going to be handled more professionally and more seriously. I literally remember thinking that, like, phew, okay, maybe there's a chance that they didn't find her, sadly to say.
No.
But still, it's very sad that I'm afraid when people like Kash Patel are handling something, well, then we're not going to get any solid results.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, remember when he announced that they had a suspect? I can't remember what case that was in, but he's like, "Oh, we got him," and it wasn't even accurate. They did not have the suspect.
Was it the Charlie Kirk shooter?
Maybe, but for some reason could have been. For some reason,
it was
think
it was a
was
high
the
profile.
synagogue? Was not the synagogue? I don't know why I thought it was
Sam
that.
Sam says it was Charlie Kirk.
It was Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
because there was also wasn't there an active shooter on a college campus not that long ago, within the last 8 months or so? There was an active shooter. They did not find the shooter, and then he came out and said they had a shooter in custody, and they didn't. So Sam, if you Google that,
I remember that.
Anybody wants? Yeah, well, they said that they did say they had suspects in the Charlie Kirk shooting, but this one was really bad, the college shooting one, because I believe the campus lifted their lockdown.
It's bad that we have multiple instances where Kash Patel has falsely said, "We got him." Oops, sorry, we don't got him.
Yeah. And just kidding, like an airplane, and they pull the plug. Yeah. God, he's just and people, the thing too that's so interesting to me is that these douchebags are so disliked within their own departments and institutions that people are like willing to turn a dime on them every day of the week. That's how we found out about. Yeah, Sam, that's right. But look, can you look for the one about the college shooting too? This is the Charlie Kirk. Hours after Kirk was shot at a university event in Utah, Patel announced on social media the FBI had the subject in custody, prompting widespread reports that authorities had arrested a suspect. At the time the post was made, however, Tyler Robinson, the man suspected of shooting Kirk, had not yet turned himself into authorities, which he ultimately did. Although he didn't, his father turned him in. So I don't know where you got that. But there was that one. So you're right. We have multiple ones because there was also and the reason we know about the New York Times thing and the reporter is because somebody at the FBI went off record and gave a tip about this stuff, that these are terrible people that nobody likes. And they're all deeply, deeply broken. And just a sidebar, speaking of deeply broken dudes in this whole fucking circle jerk regime, what is wrong with Todd Blanche? Like, what's that guy's malfunction? Who broke him?
I'll tell you what's happening with Todd Blanche. Like, Todd Blanche had made a decision at some point that, well, I've already hitched my star to this wagon. I'm going to ride it even if it goes off the cliff, because at this point, I think he believes that there's no turning back. Like, he's already sullied his reputation, so he's fully committing, you know. And I look at this Trump cabinet, and I look at the constant cavalcade of bad decisions leading to worse outcomes. Sam is asking, was it Brown University?
Yeah, it was. That's right.
It was. Okay. Yeah. And
so sad.
All of these disastrous things happening as a result of bad decisions, and people would think that Donald Trump, whose approval rating I believe is down to 30% in some places, people would think that he is losing, and it does look like he's losing, but he is winning in the only way that matters to him, and that's in the grifting thing. He doesn't care about, I don't think he cares about anything else except the money he can make before he leaves office. He sees everything as a grift. Like, for instance, the ballroom, that $400 ballroom that was originally $400 million ballroom that was originally 200 million, and at some point that'll go up in another 200 million. All of the stuff with the UAE, you heard about that in the news, right? And it's a never-ending list of grift, and nobody is focused on it because he throws all of these other chaotic things at us,
war.
like the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention the fact that right before we started today, a little bit ago, I had Senator Andy Kim on the podcast that'll air tomorrow, and he was talking about the $10 billion with a B billion dollars Donald Trump is personally suing our Department of Treasury for. The Department of Treasury he oversees, that is headed by skin suit wearer Scott Bessent. And the reason that Donald Trump is going to take $10 billion, but don't worry, guys, they're in negotiations. Donald Trump is in negotiations with Scott Bessent about the 10 billion taxpayer dollars he's going to get. And the reason he feels he is entitled to that $10 billion, how many kids could $10 billion feed? How much cancer could $10 billion cure? How much homelessness for our veterans could it absolve? But instead, $10 billion. Why? Because remember when he wouldn't release his taxes, we went years and years, and he campaigned on transparency, and then they finally got his taxes. That's it. He is saying he's owed $10 billion from the United States Department of Treasury because information about his taxes was revealed to the public.
That's such bullshit. It's such bullshit.
$10 billion.
It is absolute bullshit. Put aside the fact that every other president going back to, I think, at least Nixon, has voluntarily shown their tax returns. Why is he a special case?
Because he paid less in taxes than my mailman.
And I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that any American really is willingly going along with, yeah, sure, take $10 billion out of our wallets, take our hard-earned taxpayer money, sure, because I can't think of a more needy recipient of our $10 billion of our taxpayer money. That's insane.
Especially when gas.
What's our recourse?
Right, especially when they've told us that gas, we should sue it back. And gas right now, they've just told us you got to fight with his own damn energy secretary because his energy secretary is like, oh, yeah, no, gas is not going to come down anytime soon. He's like, that's not true. Y'all, we know gas is not coming down anytime soon. First of all, the strait that was open before he started bombing the strait is not open now. But the gas companies aren't going to be like, oh, let's make less profit. This shit's not coming down. But like, we're struggling. I've talked about this anecdotally. I got a small pizza. I thought it was not small. I ordered a medium. The damn thing came and it was a personal size pizza. It was $22. $22. I didn't even get leftovers out of that thing. There's only 3 of us. Like all of that. And he's taken 10 billion of our bucks while going to the Supreme Court to make sure that hungry children cannot eat. What?
That's a damn shame. This is the same guy who was trying to prevent SNAP benefits from being paid out to the recipients, right? That guy, that same guy, the same guy who cut, I think, $200 million out of cancer research funding. That guy. Wow.
That guy who's displaced 10,000 veterans because they cut the mortgage program that helped our veterans have housing. That guy is going to get $10 billion.
Sam, pull up that comment from Greg Genman. Says the guy who can't run a charity in New York claims he'll give the $10 billion to charity. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I'm a natural born fucking blonde who never fucking swears. Yeah, of course he's going to give it to the charity of Trump. I'm just going to tell this one story without revealing too much because I've talked a little bit about some stuff that I've been going through and I haven't fully disclosed it and I can't fully disclose it now. But I will say one of the things that it was hurled at me was an ask to donate a very hefty sum to a charity that we looked up. that charity's under investigation for fraud.
Oh my goodness! Of course
I'll
it
just
is.
say that. I'll just say that. These people are a 9-layer dip Russian nesting doll, pâte of corruption and self-dealing. Like Eric Trump was on Fox this morning, the dumbest of the spawn,
Yep.
bragging about his company's contract with the Pentagon. But let's talk about Hunter Biden's paintings, shall we?
Boy.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
They were up in arms about that. I think he made $1.5 million or something off of a painting.
Uday and Kusei went from single-digit billionaires, which is hilarious because Donald Trump Jr. doesn't even know how to sit.
Are you
They are
kidding?
now
They're
hundreds.
billionaires?
Oh yeah. Wait,
Oh, no.
is it? Yeah. They were single-digit billionaires before this second season of the shit show, and now, if I believe I saw this right, guys, please fact check me. I believe they are in the hundreds, but maybe it's millions.
No,
it could be millions. But there is if it's millions, it might be right. I think Eric and Don are worth somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 and 500. It is million dollars each.
Yeah.
And before this, they were barely registering 10. But now, thanks to all of this, the drones, which by the way are Donald Trump's defense budget, increases our spending on drones more than any other president when drones have been available technology has ever done. And Uday and Kusei are in the drone business now.
Joe, we have 5 minutes before we have to start wrapping for our special. We have a special paid subscriber chat session starting, I think, at 5:30 it is?
5:30, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, look at that. That's fancy. Who did that?
It is fancy.
Sam, did you do that?
Look at us babies.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to make sure, like, if you had a big topic that you really wanted to share with the audience, that you get a chance to put that out there.
You mean now or on the chat?
Yeah, before, because before.
Yeah, we do have. I mean, I don't know if you want to end with the more of the Tucker Carlson MAGA split with this Laura Loomer.
I'm sorry, we didn't get a chance to talk about Virginia. And briefly before we cut, I want to make sure you guys see this, right? So I found a video the other day of a guy who was running a race, and he was well in front. He was literally like 20 yards from the finish line. So he slows down. He takes his foot off the gas, and the dude is like, he's already celebrating. He thinks he's got it in the bag. Meanwhile, at least 200 yards behind him, this brother is cooking with gas. He's just burning, and he catches all the way up to homeboy, like within 2 yards of the tape, and wins the race. I bring this up to say that we should not get complacent. I think we should take a bow and enjoy the victory that we experienced on Tuesday, despite the fact that one asshole judge in Virginia is trying to spoil our parade by challenging that or whatever. But we're going to get past that. But the message is, don't get complacent, don't get cocky. Always act as though we are 10 points behind. This is the message for the midterms and beyond.
Yeah, let's use Hungary as a lesson, right? The Hungarian people, they showed up. They did not take anything for granted, and some staggering percentage of the electorate that was eligible to vote, like almost 80%.
70, right?
Yeah. It was they showed up because they needed to send a message so that Orban could not say it was rigged, or he couldn't say there was interference, or whatever they were already trying to put out there. That's what we need to do here, right? Like, that is the way. That is the way through. Getting complacent and looking at these elections. And by the way, Virginia is no longer a foregone conclusion because Virginia's got these weird laws. It's one of those old ass states where they got shit on the books from, the founders and everything. And like, I'm listening to, what's his name? Can't remember his name. Eli Honig. Is that his name? Eli Honig? Talking about this on CNN today. And he's like, there's a couple things here that are problematic for these new maps. So don't sleep on that. But like, even if that doesn't work, and even if that map doesn't hold, we all got to show up. We got to show up in Texas. We got to show up in Virginia. We got to show up in Michigan. We got to show up in Georgia, Ohio. Yeah, I mean, this was a win for democracy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nobody wants to gerrymander, but you got to fight fire with fire. And Gavin Newsom started all of this, and he was goddamn right to do it. And then for people of Virginia, they have made their voices heard. But unfortunately, we live in a world where we have a judicial system, and this is now going to be litigated. The attorney general there is going to appeal that judge's decision. That judge has had an issue with this referendum since day one. We've already heard the Supreme Court refused to weigh in on this, both in Texas and in California. So this is going to be an interesting case. It'll be most likely left up to the Virginia Supreme Court, but we can't all gas, no breaks, no complacency. We got to keep showing up. And Lord knows, if you got to tap out for a minute. You know what I mean? Go get some air, touch some grass, go to a baseball game, like unplug. We do whatever you got to do.
Pet a kitten.
What? Pet a kitten.
Pet a kitten.
Pet a kitten. My neighbors have puppies, miniature poodle puppies, and they look like little animatronic like toys. I was like, oh my God.
Puppies are the best.
Oh my God, they really are the best. But so I agree with you. No complacency. Don't stop at the 20-yard line or 20 yards out. Push all the way through the tape.
That's right.
Yeah, and we do have that paid subscriber live Q&A right after this. So Sam, where should we direct them to in terms of a link, or just go to where do they go? What do I tell them, Sam?
It is an excellent question.
Yeah,
because people are watching from here. They're watching in Twitter. Oh, go to the Siren.
Yeah, go to the SirenNetwork.com. Okay, go to the SirenNetwork.com/subscribe. If you want to check out that live, it's Joe and BDD After Dark, folks. It's our OnlyFans. I'm just gonna say, pose. There might be some s'mores consumption. You never know what might happen. I have my hemp lotion. It's all bets are off. You just never know. And I even have CBD mints, which I enjoy partaking of because of the menopause. But all of these things, friends, will be happening. And I just might wear my glasses.
Okay.
But yeah. After dark.
So, all right. So Sam is writing. He says the SirenNetwork.com/subscribe if you want to become a paid subscriber and watch watch these things that are going to be happening with s'mores, apparently.
CBDs. And we actually do. We will take questions. You know what I mean? Like, that's the fun part. We welcome them. As I scratch my armpit, so ladylike. And
there will be armpit scratching well,
but our own, not each other's, because that would be a feat given the distance between us. But also, sidebar, real fast, I want to talk about this on the paid thing. The White House Correspondents' Dinners this weekend, and y'all, nobody worth a damn in the press should be going to that shit. No. That's all I want to say about that.
Well, what I heard is that he's got a bunch of disses, a bunch of insults loaded up that he is going to unload, and then he's going to dip out before anybody can hit him back. That's what I heard.
Profiles and courage, I mean,
that is a Trump move if there ever was one. 100%. I'm shocked. That's the only way that he has agreed to go to this thing, is if he can slam the press and then leave without taking any barbs whatsoever, because he's Trumple thin skin.
Yeah, don't show up and let him use you as a prop. Don't do that. And remember, the origin story of so much of this was when Barack Obama epically made fun of Donald Trump at a White House Correspondents Association dinner. We put up the picture of the White House with the neon light, and well, we're not that far from that reality, folks. We're really not.
Yeah. Actually, I think the Obama barbs kind of got to him, but the Seth Meyer jokes made the steam come out of his ears really,
Yeah.
that really got him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I love mocking him. You know what? I don't give a shit. I like mocking him. That's the enemy of the authoritarian. Is
That's right.
parody and
That is
mocking.
the key, by the way. The
Mhm.
ridicule, the constant ridicule, mocking, whatever, that we got to turn that shit up to 11. Yeah.
Trump thin skin. Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
So tune in to go to the sirennetwork.com/subscribe if you want. Like, I look at that fucking hair. Jesus God.
Yeah.
I mean, my it's like Army Corps of Engineers, like, kind of comb over there. And look at his nostrils
Yeah.
flaring. Like, he's pissed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So go to sirennetwork.com/subscribe if you want to ask us some questions. We have half an hour before my daughter's softball game this evening. But with that, Brooklyn, any last thoughts before we head over there?
Yeah, I just I want to excuse me. I want to thank you guys for once again tuning in to join us. And as we didn't get a chance to really engage much with the comments today, but we'll fix that next week. We love you guys.
We do love you guys, and please stay safe out there. Stay strong, stay sane-ish, and stay safe. We'll see you next Thursday. Thanks, Brooklyn. Thanks, Sam.